11 minutes after the top of the hour. Eva Vashiba got the front page. Let's go.
Good morning, Rock T, and good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcel, here with your front page headline news. So, coronavirus cases are rising in 41 states, and hospitals in South and West are feeling the impact seriously. Hospitals in Arizona are at 98% capacity, and hospitalizations in Texas have quadrupled in over the past month. The governor of California, and we were expecting this was going to happen at some point, and it has happened. California has ordered it to shut down for the second time. That's right, restaurants and indoor places. Similar shutdowns are taking place in parts of Florida, but despite the huge numbers of cases, Florida's education secretary has issued an executive order for schools to reopen this fall. Also, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms announced yesterday that she has tested positive for the coronavirus. Bottoms and her husband and one of her 4 children have also tested positive. However, thank God they are asymptomatic. Speaking of Atlanta, the violent 4th of July weekend, the governor has declared a state of emergency and called up to 1,000 National Guard troops to the city. Okay. All right. And finally, in case you have not heard, today is Blackout Tuesday. That's right. It's Blackout Day, you guys. Let's show some unity and solidarity by supporting Black-owned businesses today. Buy Black, spend Black, be Black. That's what's popping today. All right, now, Rock T, I hear that there's a lot of big money moving around in the NFL. What is going on in sports, my brother?
Man, it's all going to one person. Kansas City Chiefs lock up Super Bowl MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes through the year 2031. A huge contract extension, 10 years. It's expected to be worth anywhere between $450 million and $503 million, man. Non-trade clause, so they can't trade him. He's got a $140 million injury guarantee. So if he gets hurt, he's still getting $140 million. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of the particulars in that contract, but big ups to him. He earned it, man. Super Bowl MVP right there. Shout out to Dwight Howard. He says he will be joining his Laker teammates for the NBA restart of the season, and he's going to donate his salary, or $700,000 of his salary, to from all the Orlando games to help the COVID-19 situation as well. And last but not least, man, Colin Kaepernick signs a deal with Disney. Not a football deal yet, but with a Disney deal with a potential docuseries in the works. So I'm excited.
Watch out, Rock.
Oh, come on, man. But, be relaxed, though. Trust me, Colin Kaepernick is going to be on somebody's NFL roster when the season starts. I'm almost putting everything on that, man. They have to bring him in to play, so we're going to see what happens.
I believe you.
Absolutely.
I believe you.
There it is, man. That's sports report right there. Gary, with the team, what you got there, Mike?
All right, now, Eva, you knew something about this story I'm about to talk about, and you didn't say nothing, honey. But it's being reported, y'all, that Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, y'all, are livid with Kandi Burruss, y'all, who seems to have forgotten, y'all, the history lesson that she learned in high school. Now, it's been reported, y'all, that Kandi took to social media recently, honey, and she posted a few photos where she's wearing a Marie Antoinette costume, and she enraged fans, y'all, with the caption they read, "Let them eat cake." Marie Antoinette. Now, Marie Antoinette, y'all, she's the Queen of France. She was the Queen of France, y'all, of Navarre, and she became a symbol, y'all, of the excesses of the monarchy, honey, and is credited, y'all, with the infamous quote, "Let them eat cake." Now, they're saying, y'all, while talking about the poor and suffering French people. Now, a lot of people saying, y'all, how could Kandi do that? Now, the critics bashed Kandi, and one of them said, "Kandi, this is not the best time to post this. People were suffering in the streets, starving, poverty, y'all, and Queen Antoinette of France, y'all, made this statement, and I am infamous." She said her callousness toward the people. She was beheaded at the age of 37, y'all. Do not glorify her. Know your history, Kandi.
She was beheaded at the age of 37, but she was married at 15. It was a completely different day and time.
Well,
and I think Kandi wore that to celebrate Pride because
it don't matter what, though, honey. It doesn't matter what, even now. It's like some people saying she was kind of directed into y'all housewives that y'all poor and y'all got to eat cake because she got all the
Nobody saying that.
Well, I'm just telling you what the police are saying.
I am a former housewife of Atlanta, a very real housewife of the world. So I will eat my cake. I will make it too. But I really do think that was a done-up thing she did when she did her burlesque show, and she had some pictures in the archive, and it was from that. And I mean, it was Gay Pride weekend, and Candy was showing her solidarity to the community, and I think was just putting up fun pictures. I don't think it has anything with her thinking she's better than anyone else.
Well, I'm just telling you what the people are saying, and the Queens eat enough cake, so honey, I'm sure they didn't need Candy to do that outfit, but nevertheless, that's what people are saying, y'all. We just gonna keep everybody
what outfit she wearing. It look good on her.
So, but anyway, we're gonna just pray.
Did she look good?
Yeah, it looks amazing. I love the outfit, but I'm just saying people are very angry, honey. They're saying, how could she do
Candy
that?
can wear a garbage bag. It's going to look good.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I'm just saying what the people say. All right, the color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, is sugar walls. On the high end, you say sugar walls, and on the low end, you say beautiful pinkish white. That's your color for today. Now, Brett, T.I. fighting who?
Man, T.I. done challenged 50 Cent to a versus battle. Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you all about it in the hot spot coming up next on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The hot spot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot
and that's hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
For Sheezy, 31 minutes after the top of the hour. Oh my goodness. You got me on the edge of my seat, Brad. 50 Cent, the Trouble Man, T.I. What's going on?
Oh, man, Rock T. Good morning, Rock T. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brad Tat Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. Let's get off into this thing. Yesterday, T.I. took to Instagram to challenge 50 Cent to a versus battle. Yep, the King of the South said in the video, for your birthday, I offer you a challenge, sir. Pull your ass up for 20 of your records. Sit across from me, man, and get this work, man. But I understand if you don't want to answer that challenge, because last time you got challenged, Kanye West dusted your ass off. Well, guess who ain't scared of you, 50 Cent? He said, pull up, 50. Bring your ass outside, filth. Bring your hit records with you. You and Dr. Dre and Eminem and all y'all. G-Unit, come on out. Come see the king. Of course, 50 had to respond, y'all. He said, yo, somebody passed T.I. the weed they gave Smokey and Friday, LOL. T.I. responded, I see the birthday boy got my message, so he knows. He didn't accept the challenge, though. He heard us and he acknowledged that he received the message. What y'all think about that?
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one,
You
though.
sound just like him, Brad.
But, yo, Filth didn't answer yet, though. He didn't say he accepted the challenge. And maybe
you know, 50 Cent don't run away from much.
Yeah, he don't. I can't wait to see what happened with that, because I ain't seen. I don't know if 50 do battles. That would be dope. That would be a very good one. He said, you, Dre, and Eminem, all y'all, and G-Unit. Oh, my goodness. Okay, y'all, moving on. Tom Hanks talks about his COVID battle, y'all. He's reflecting on his battle with the coronavirus and the different symptoms he and his wife had and their experiences. He told The Guardian, our discomfort because of the virus was pretty much done in 2 weeks, and we had very different reactions, which was odd, he said. He said, my wife lost her sense of taste and smell, and she had severe nausea. He said she had a much higher fever than I did. I just had crippling body aches, and I was very fatigued all the time, and I couldn't concentrate on anything for more than about 12 minutes. Whew. Lord have mercy. And with the mayor saying that she done got the virus and her family, oh my, it's like we ain't safe out here. It make you just not want to go nowhere. It feel like we ain't even safe with a mask.
Stay on top of your immune system, man. You got to stay on top of that immune system.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
Which is why some people are asymptomatic. Like the mayor has it and her husband have it, but I think she was being responsible by getting tested, having been out, but she has literally no symptoms at all.
Right. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to wrap up the hot spot right there. I'm going to tell y'all all about the rest later on in the morning. Anyway, y'all, coming up next, we got Special K with the news you absolutely, positively cannot use. The time now is 26 minutes before the top of the hour, but before we go, we need y'all to hit us up for them wake-up calls. That's 1-866-9-RICKEY, 1-866-9-RICKEY. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
You liar! I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
47 minutes. Did I just say 47 minutes after the top of the hour or 13 minutes before the top of the hour, man? It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. It's all the same thing. Okay. Special K, absolutely, positively. You got news you can't use.
Yeah, man. Today's news is sponsored by the new Tyler Perry Triple Bean Burrito at Taco Bell. It's for a limited time only. The sign out front says, tired of being hungry riding around? Grab one of these and be ready to meet the Browns. All right.
Yeah, dog.
Tyler got his name on everything. All right, I'm gonna ask our guy Super Dave to give me a little music. Because today's news you can't use is very useful.
Oh.
It's called what they say versus what they mean. See, a lot of times we find ourselves in situations where we get our feelings hurt and misunderstandings because you don't know how to listen with a third ear. People say one thing, but they mean something else. Here we go, Rock.
All right.
When he says, I didn't see you calling me because I had left my phone in the car while I was working out. What he really means is, I was smashing and didn't want to answer the phone breathing hard.
You break
When she says, I don't normally do this when I'm with somebody for the first time, what she really means, I do this every time I'm with somebody for the first time. But you seem like husband material, so I don't want to mess that up. When he says, I'm going to pay you back as soon as I get my check on Friday, what he really means, on Friday, you're going to call me all day. I'm going to act like I don't see you calling. And then when I do answer, I'm going to act like, why you sweating me for that little $40 and the bank closed anyway? Nobody go to the bank no more. It's 22. You can just cash out. When he says, I don't know why this card is getting declined. Can you just pay and I'll give it back to you?
Oh, wow.
What he really means, I knew I had $8 in my account when I picked you up 2 hours ago. You gotta learn to listen with the third ear. When she says, I like you, I just don't like you like that.
Ooh.
What she really means, we can go out and you can spend money on me for the rest of the year and I will never, ever have sex with you.
Ever.
That's cold-blooded, dog.
Eva, when she says, I know you married, but just take my number. We can be friends. What she really means, I'm ready to be your side piece. Just call me and we can make it official.
Yes.
When he says, I love hard, what he means, I'm crazy as hell and you're probably going to have me arrested at some point.
Yeah. Look out for that one.
Okay.
When she says, I do go out sometimes, just not all the time. What she means is every night the club is open, I'm in there.
Yeah, even now.
Everybody from the valet to the doorman to the bartenders to the DJ to the manager to the bathroom guy all know me by name.
Even now, during COVID-19, she's still out there.
When she says, I was in a serious relationship for like 3 years, but the past couple years, I just been dating around. What she really means is when me and my dude broke up, I laid up with about 19 other dudes in the 2 years since then. I'm telling you, man, you got to listen with the third ear. Even when she says, I just never really met a guy that I could see myself having a child with. What she really means is, yeah, I made 5 trips to Planned Parenthood during my 20s.
What?
That's rough. That was rough.
No, come on, dog.
Hey, Gary, when she says, when he says, I went through some crazy times when I was in college. I was wilding out. What he really means is, yeah, I had a relationship with a sissy on campus for like 8 months, but I don't really consider myself gay.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wow.
Confessions, I mean, confessions is good to the soul.
These are my confessions.
You gotta watch them dudes who say they were wilding out during college.
Oh, man.
You gotta get some specifics on that.
I'm
What
watching
exactly
out
do
for the
you mean
guy
by
that had
wilding out,
$8
sir?
in his bank account.
Oh.
Exactly.
But they special K needed.
Hey, Dave.
He ain't had no money.
Do I got 30 more seconds?
Oh, man.
When he says, I moved in with my mom for a minute while I'm saving up to buy my own condo, what he really means is, yeah, I'm 35, but my credit score is in the low 300s and I can't get approved for an apartment.
How you get that low, dog?
Listen with a third ear, people. Listen with a third ear. Hey, y'all hit me up on Twitter at Special K913 if you like it. If you don't like it, just let me know.
There it is. Special K News you absolutely positively cannot use. Coming up next, man, we got licensed professional counselor YUNETTA Springs right here on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's Talk It Out Tuesday with licensed professional counselor YUNETTA Springs.
It's Talk It Out Tuesday, where every Tuesday here on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, we talk to licensed professional counselor YUNETTA Springs. So welcome her back to the show.
YUNETTA.
To say,
YUNETTA.
Hey, YUNETTA. Now,
Hey, good morning, y'all. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. Now, you know it's a little crazy around here at the Rickey Smiley Morning Show today. We have great leadership with our boss, Rickey Smiley, but needless to say, we were all and are still in a lot of shock after Rickey shared the news about his daughter, Arian, being shot yesterday.
Aaron.
Thankfully, you're here this morning to help just kind of talk through what we're feeling. I think everyone on the show this morning has feelings and sentiments, and I think we're all kind of at that place where we really don't know what to do to be helpful. So can you kind of give us a little bit of direction and tell us, what are we feeling and how do we hone this into a positive space?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just crazy hearing about what happened to Aaron yesterday. I think everybody's heart just dropped, and it's just awful what's going on right now. I wanted to share with you guys that PTSD affects about 9 million people in the U.S., okay? 9 million. And I think after COVID and with all of this gun violence and everything going on, that number is just going to continue to climb. So I think what you guys and what we experience, what Rickey, experienced is something that kind of is like an element of trauma, which is called dissociation. Okay. So dissociation is like a result of when you have a psychological trauma. This can come from and not to say any of you have experienced this, but for people who typically have dissociation, they have experienced like childhood abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. They may have grown up in households with like addicts, whether it be alcohol or drugs, whatever the case may be. This psychological distress causes our mind to become so overwhelmed, and it tries to find a way to cope, so it completely checks out. Okay, so this is when you experience something scary or something traumatic, and it's like you're having an out-of-body experience, almost like you are watching yourself experience something. You may experience like numbness or tingles in your body. So kind of thinking about what happened yesterday and how all of you all were like, oh my God, Rickey, like, I don't even understand how you're doing the show right now. Right?
Exactly.
But it's almost like you just kick into this autopilot. Right? And it's like you're going through the motions, but the shock of what happens, your brain literally is trying to protect itself from feeling the full extent of the emotions, so you check out a little bit, but you're checking, but you check out.
Another part of it is that, because of COVID-19, there are a lot of restrictions at the hospital right now. And so Rickey's been doing a really good job at keeping us updated, but he can't even go by her bedside and just hold her hand like we would normally. So what do you do with that kind of, those emotions?
It's just hard. Everything is harder than, trauma and gun violence. That's already hard to deal with, but to know that you can't get to your child, how difficult is that to deal with? You know what I mean?
That's a parent's nightmare.
So I think the first, it's a nightmare. It is. And I think it's just important for us to talk about these things, and to really process it, because you will think you're crazy, and you're not crazy if you experience these symptoms or if you have these moments, and I think that's why I'm so grateful for this platform, the more we talk about it and normalize it, then that this is your brain and your body's natural way of reacting to trauma. Right. Okay. So I want to share with you guys like some things that we can do when we dissociate, like when we have that moment where we check out and we feel like we're out of our bodies. One thing is to be able to like acknowledge what happened, talking about it. So you guys coming in and checking on him and, us being able to check on each other is so important, but being able to talk about it with a safe person and not somebody that's going to make the situation about them. Have you guys ever talked to somebody and then it's like you come to them with your problems and then they turn it into their issues?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too many times. Okay. Too often.
Yeah. That's not what we need right now. Like, we have to be able to hold space for people and listen to them and let them process and don't make it about you.
Yes.
And then you guys know I'm always talking about breathing. Right? Breathing is the only thing we do all the time, every moment without thinking about it. We got to be able to breathe and ground ourselves, right? Really tap into the present moment And then being able to affirm ourselves and let ourselves know it is okay, right? This is how your body naturally responds. It's actually your mind trying to heal, trying to protect itself. So this is a natural and normal way of your body and your mind responding to a traumatic event.
Wow. It's Talking Out Tuesday, and licensed professional counselor YUNETTA Spring, we thank you so much for always coming on and helping us out through this, especially what just happened with Aaron, Rickey's daughter. Successful surgery. Just to give you guys a quick update.
Yes.
Ask everybody to continue to pray for Aaron for a healthy and speedy recovery.
Yes.
YUNETTA, thank you.
For Rickey.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody.
Rickey is a soldier.
Family.
Man.
He's a soldier, but being a gunshot victim himself, this has to be the worst thing you could imagine to happen to your child. So just pray for his mind and his sanity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so being able to just continue to uplift him, uplift the family, support them, being that listening ear, allowing them to process is so important.
Right.
There it is. Licensed professional counselor YUNETTA Spring. Make sure you get more information about what she does and who she is and how she can help you. Visit YUNETTA's website, springforthcounseling.org, or catch her on Instagram and Facebook at Springforth Counseling. YUNETTA, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
Thank you, YUNETTA.
Gentlemen, church in 60 seconds. Y'all give it up. Yes. Show your love of the one and only Pastor Fred, y'all. Pastor Fred.
Woo, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I tell you, it's just a joy to me always to be able to come to this mic and to share with people all over the world. Brother Rickey, I was just thinking, men and women all over the world, young men and women are growing up without fathers. Young men and women are growing up in homes that are not stable. And just the other day, Brother Rickey, we should be more vigilant about being in our young people's lives. More vigilant about being in our young people's lives. But I was at a service with a friend, and I heard him tell a story that I thought I'd heard before. It was about his father, and he was preaching, and he said, it was the 3rd of September, a day I'd always remembered. I heard him say that was the day that my daddy died. He went on to say, I never had a chance to see him. Never heard good things about him. For some reason, looked over at his mama and said, Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. Something about his papa was a rolling stone.
What?
Well, he laid his hand, was his home. But when he died, I said, when he died, all he left us was alone.
How can you be reached, Pastor Fred?
Reach me at the real Pastor Fred.
One time, Pastor Fred, y'all.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
John, we appreciate you, man. And all right, from one homie to another. Black Tony, what's up, man?
Well, y'all still got that line sound coming on there like he working, so he ain't even working, so he just
always working, Black Tony.
Man, so he be sending y'all, he be sending y'all cause he be playing music and just sending it like he really.
That's his job. That's his job,
Right,
Tony.
he does his job.
Now, what about
Make
you?
the mixes.
Whatever, Shawty, look.
Are you coming in, Tony?
Look. Yeah, no, I ain't coming in. So I'm trying to make money. Blackout Tuesday. Shawty, y'all for blackout. Buy black. Buy everything black.
We are black. It's a black company, and we black.
I know. I'm selling stuff, though. I took my gold teeth out.
What?
Ew, I took my gold teeth out. Your husband like gold teeth?
Nope.
Wait a minute.
I took mine out, Brett. Your folks like gold teeth?
No.
You know anybody like gold teeth? So I took mine out. I'm selling them on. I'm doing the auction.
You can't nobody
I'm doing the auction. You can get Black Tony Gold Grill.
But
what if it does?
Oh,
how is your grill gonna fit somebody else?
Thank you, Brett. Thank you.
You just put them in your mouth and just chew on it for a minute, and it'll fit. It'll get on your teeth and let your teeth jet.
Like a mouthpiece, like a football mouthpiece.
Hey, look, sorry, but I showed my gold teeth. So, and I'm not even gonna wash them or nothing. So you can put them in your mouth and they'll smell just like that. Tony, look.
It's disgusting.
Hey, but look, Rock.
What's up, Tony?
I'm selling something else too. Now, y'all go to my Instagram, BT Comedy or Black Tony Comedy. Y'all go and I'm selling. I don't know if I can say this on red. I'm selling. I got my own reusable condom.
No, man, ain't nobody gonna.
Hold on. Wait. No. What did you say?
No. I got reusable condom. You just rinse them out. They come in different sizes too, so.
No, Tony.
They come in small, medium, large, and whole.
That's a horrible idea.
But that's a come up right there.
That's a horrible
Hey, all the ladies tell them they come in. I got 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and whole up.
Yes, sir. Save money, Tony.
And what?
Where you go from the large and then they got the hole up. But that's the one where when you open up, when you drop that thing out, the girls say, "Hold up."
Half man, half woman.
It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the teeth. It's Gary, baby.
Good morning, Brad. Good morning, Eva. Good morning, Special K. And good morning, Rock T. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Now, everybody's still talking about this, y'all. And we talked about this yesterday, Brad, on Dish Nation, y'all. And this story really hurts my heart. It just does something to my heart. And I mean, y'all may not agree, but anyway, we were talking about Kelly Rowland. Now, Kelly Rowland is still talking about how she really felt when she was younger, making money, but she said she was broke rich. Yeah, she said she was broke rich. Now, let me tell y'all something. It's a sad thing when you got to fake it till you make it supposed to be. Now, we all thought that Kelly was making all these millions of dollars, which she was making millions of dollars and stuff, but she said she didn't have no money. She said she was trying to keep up. Now, she didn't particularly say that she was trying to keep up with Beyonce or anybody, but she said she was trying to keep up because she really didn't have no money. And I thought about it. You know, I had a situation where a lady, I know I'm not going to call nobody's name or whatever, but this woman, honey, was married to a very rich man, honey, very filthy rich man, honey. And when he divorced her, she didn't have nothing, but she did get a settlement. Now, she got her settlement or whatever, but she went broke because she said she was too busy trying to keep up with his damn new wife, seeing her all in magazines, driving Rolls Royces and things, living a great life and stuff. And that's a sad situation, y'all. I mean, so think about it. I mean, Brad, y'all, even to y'all, does that remind you? Do you think about that?
Well, you know me. I am not trying to keep up with the Joneses, the Johnsons, the Jenkins. I'm trying to keep the Sterlings afloat. So I think it's really sad. But for Kelly, you got to think about it. Kelly came from the largest female group of all time.
Yeah, but she wasn't getting Beyonce money, and Beyonce was probably buying a lot of nice things. And Beyonce's kind of the lead singer. Her dad was the manager of the group, so he was probably making the most money. But Beyonce was writing most of the songs, so she was getting most of the checks. So I understand it's hard trying to keep up, because when I first got in the game, JD was super rich already. So when I got in the game, he had a convertible BMW. I wanted one. He got a new house. I wanted one. Then you start looking at your bank like, my money running low. JD, let me borrow like 20 grand right quick. And then it's easy to do, for real.
Yes.
And then you got to add one little more piece. You got to remember, she let her husband manage her.
No, but that was later on in life, though. That was later on in life.
Yeah, you're talking about when she was young in the game.
Yeah, was young in the game.
Child. Yeah. But that happens. I mean, because you think all this money gonna keep pouring in, but you know the record company, they recoup at the end all the limos, all them hotels, all them flights, first
and
class.
I didn't learn that till later on in life, Brett. I thought they was giving y'all all this stuff, flying your damn mama in and her sisters.
No, that ain't how it work, Gary.
I learned later. I learned that later.
After my first album, that's why I got out the game.
Oh, well. What you sell about? You mean wood?
You ain't never
glass.
You ain't never got in the game. He ain't never got in the game, honey. Thank you.
I just wanted to see if y'all was
You never
listening.
even suited up for the game. What are you talking
I just wanted to see if y'all was listening.
But my
Still don't dress worth for nothing. What you talking about?
yeah, he been in the game
Still
for
at
40
City
years
Trends.
almost. Okay, he's been in the game 40 years, so I know he feeling like Kelly.
Playing intramural sports.
But it was a sad, touching story though, y'all. It really touched my heart though. But I felt real.
Hey, Gary, you think fame does that to a lot of people? Like because you're famous now, that you gotta kind of spend a lot of extra money, even if you don't have it, just to kind of keep up and have that look.
Yes, look at them damn Real Housewives, honey. They all, honey, started off almost basically broke, but they had to get certain type of mansions and things and drive certain kind of cars and certain purses, look a certain way.
No, that is not true, Gary.
Well, maybe that wasn't true for you even, but that was true for a lot of them. Half of them girls started off broke.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'm gonna let you have that. But what I can say is that in a lot of these housewives you see across the franchises, not just Atlanta, but all over the U.S., a lot of these girls, they live in condos, they rent their homes. They're regular women who happen to do what they do for a living on television. But money is money like it is for everyone else. So you got 3,000 square feet homes that they're renting in Los Angeles, which is no different than what they're doing here. They just
but look what's the key word though, honey, that you said. Renting. Here, we thinking that they buying them.
At least we own our houses. They renting.
Yeah, because, honey, I'm like, child, but it's just very interesting. I'm like, oh, my God, I would have never thought. And, I mean, look like if she was talking about Beyonce in particular, she could have gave that girl, they could have gave this girl a little change, honey. I mean, Brad, did JD give you some money?
Absolutely.
But Brad earned her money, though.
I was blessed to have JD who taught me the game, who made me, pay attention to everything. Yes, JD gave me whatever I needed. I had him through everything. So when I was spending too much, he shot his little sister some little change to keep me afloat.
Oh, see, that was cute.
Okay, big bro.
Okay, always looked out. I'm definitely.
But see, you always did your thing too, though, Brad. So that's what he can count on.
And I was a solo artist, so I didn't have to share my coins with nobody.
All right, there you have it, baby.
Nobody.
Okay. Well, I will scan the room, honey, and ask about the room, but I ain't gonna do that. So, but anyway, all right, the color today, honey. Well, first of all, I want to say, y'all, let's say on behalf of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, happy birthday to Erykah Badu's daughter, Puma. She turned 16 years old, y'all. So happy birthday to Puma. Yes, and everybody's raving already saying that she has the genes of her parents, honey, because her dad is the DOC, and they have the singing genes or whatever. But can you predict a child gonna be something? When they grow up?
Yeah, probably when they little, you can tell if they have like that star quality. They always performing. They want to be famous.
Yeah.
They might
tell a
sing
little
to
baby
their
girl gonna be a
dolls.
thought.
And they went. That's okay. That's
They be
okay.
wearing them.
Come
They
on
be wearing them
now.
pull-ups with them little cheeks hanging out all the time.
That just means she thick. That she get that from her mama.
Well, I wonder
but they were
some
on
of them
Good
be
Morning
pulling them up,
America
though.
together.
I wonder what my mama gonna predict about me, because I'm loving and caring and all that good stuff.
When you used to fix her hair when she was 3, she knew it.
I would love to know what your mama predicted.
Started twitching.
She knew you was gonna be doing the entertainment report.
I had a neighbor who walked down the street and say, yeah, baby, she gonna be a little girl, honey. Baby Miss Dixon used to walk down the street and say, girl, she gonna be a little girl, honey. All right, the color today is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, is Sugar Wall. On the high end, you say Sugar Wall, and on the low, you say beautiful pink and you like. That's your color for today.
Yes.
All right, give it up for Gary with the T.
One time, 7 minutes after the top of the hour, money expert Janai Thornton coming up next. So if you a black-owned business with a finance question for Janai, or you want to comment about the Blackout Day 2020, call us now and shout out your businesses at 866-9-RICKEY, 866-9-RICKEY. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
It's the front page news.
It's what's trending now.
11 minutes after the top of the hour, this portion of the morning show is brought to you by Urban One. No election or issue is too small if it impacts your community. Don't sit on the sidelines this year. Be empowered and get involved. Log on to newsone.com/vote and register to vote. In case you haven't heard, Black America is sending a message at the checkout counter today. Today is Tuesday, July 7th. It has been designated as Blackout Day 2020. It's a call to action day of solidarity where not one black person in America spends $1 unless it's with black-owned businesses. And our resident money expert, Miss Janai Thornton, joins us this morning to break it all down for us. Good morning, Janai.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited about Blackout Day 2020 because what it means to me is we actually get an opportunity to really stop and pause and reset and be intentional about every single dollar we spend. And it also means we get a chance to understand how powerful our dollars are. You don't have to have millions of dollars to be powerful. But if we are patronizing businesses from people who look like us, we can impact our community for generations. And so we have to reevaluate everything. I don't care if you're talking about kids' clothes, where you buy pet supplies, but who do we go to the doctor? Are we banking with black banks? And then for those of us who are doing some of that, how do we actually take it to the next level? So this is an opportunity, again, for all of us to look at our lives, look at how we're spending our money, and get our families, get our friends, get everybody involved, because we are asking companies to make changes. We are asking companies to step up. But what are we doing, the rest of the community? And this is
okay, so I have a question, Janai.
Sure.
For the average consumer, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. I have to buy stuff. I have to cook dinner tonight. So what does this mean for the community, though? Like, what kind of a real impact is this going to make for the community? And why does this really matter? Because I feel like a lot of people think, you know, what is one day? So can you explain the importance of it today?
Well, I think the day is the beginning of something. I don't think today is just July 7th and it's Blackout Day 2020 and then we just go back to living our normal lives, Eva. I think it literally means, hey, we have to change our behavior moving forward. So I think if we look at it from that perspective, it's going to make a huge difference in the community.
Nice.
And so I have some resources I want people to check out. So if you're like, I don't know where to buy black, here are a few people that I follow on social media, and I also have their apps and can make it easier for you. My favorite one is Official Black Wall Street. So you can follow them on social media, and then you can also download their free app. You can get tons of resources from black tattoo shops. Oh my gosh, they're phenomenal.
What's the website again?
Official Black Wall Street.
Official Black Wall Street. Her name is Mandy Bowman. She is dope, and this is a great. It's amazing to follow her on Instagram, but please download her app. Another one that you can download is called Black Nation. Again, it's called Black Nation app.
I'm writing these down.
I'm familiar with that one.
Black Nation app. So again, you can download it and it can help you find businesses not only in your area, but again, no matter where you live, because obviously, you know, so many of us spend money online. That means you can order from anybody.
Absolutely. And that's such a good point, Janai, because I think a lot of times we don't realize that the people that we're sitting next to daily have businesses and products that we can consume that are comparable to the ones that we see at the big stores, but they're black owned. And so to find that website and really do our intentional work to make sure we buy black. That is what today is all about.
You know,
right.
You said the right word. It is intention.
So today we're expecting all the malls, I guess, in the black areas to be empty because none of those stores are really black owned.
You know what, though? It's going to be interesting to see because I think a lot of times we don't even pay attention to that. Like, do we know? Do we even care about that?
We do have some stores, though. So, like, in the Atlanta area, for instance, there's a big name on television, and she has a couple stores. Kandi Burris has 2 stores in Atlanta called Tags. So if you want to go get some clothes today, don't go to Neiman's. Go to Tags and support Kandi Burris.
Absolutely.
Or if you want to go out to eat today, don't go to your regular restaurant. The old lady
of the black malls and most of the black quote urban malls, most of the stores are owned by either like Asians or
well, you have to do the work. You have to see who's owning it.
Brad. You have to do the work. They're in there.
Research. May I speak to the owner? Who's the owner?
Yes.
What's the owner's name? You know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, we have to be okay with doing the work, though. Y'all just said the right word. We have to be willing to do the work. We want everything to be easy. You know, we just want to jump online real quick, get what we need, but put forth a little bit of the work. We on social media and on our computers all the time anyway.
You already know. You already know.
You know, Janai, we want to solicit the callers actually to call in if you have a Black-owned business or a question for Janai Thornton or a comment about Blackout Day 2020. Please call us and shout out your Black business at 866-9-RICKEY. That's 866-9-RICKEY. We're going to holler back at you after the break.
Oh, yeah, it's 24 minutes after the top of the hour. Just to recap, man, today is Black America Blackout Day 2020. We sending a message at the checkout counter today, July the 7th. Call to action is the day of solidarity where not one Black person in America spends $1 unless it's with Black-owned businesses. We have our money expert, Janai Thornton, in with us. So we're going to go to the phone lines and let you guys ask your questions. 866-9-RICKEY. Good morning.
All right, this is Lord Trim. I'm the owner of Trim's Barbershop in Richmond, Virginia, and we want y'all to come out and support. Thanks.
My name is Katrina Blizzard, and I am from Richmond, Virginia. The name of my company is Loving Me Naturally. That's L-U-V-I-N-G, Me Naturally. And I make natural skin and hair care products to allow people to love the skin that they are in.
Hi, my name's Tiffany Hamilton, and I own One Touch Mobile Labs here in Ocala, Florida. I provide mobile lab services for patients that are inbound or anybody who just want to be private. And my website is www.onetouchmobilelabs.com.
Sierra Simmons owns a business called Cleaning Complete. It is a complete cleaning service, and you can contact her at Cleaning Complete 101 on Instagram, Facebook, and that email address at gmail.com.
All right. My name is Eddie Brock. I am the president and CEO of Casino Drive Transportation, Ride, Share, and Mommy Chauffeur, the only company that have not only motor coaches, but we have private school transportation and the only Black ride share on the East Coast. Hey, I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
I like that. I like this, man.
That boy said Maryland.
I'm in Baltimore, Maryland.
Maryland. That's right.
No, this is good stuff, man. Matter of fact, man, I challenge us to do this more often, even past July the 7th, man.
We should do this all the time.
Do you know what?
What's that?
The number one entrepreneurs in the U.S. are Black women. We as Black people are out here literally making a way for ourselves and taking up this entrepreneurial space. So I think it is high time for us to support our own businesses and each other's businesses. I know, Brad, you're out here. You're the hugest rapper. We know you. But I know you got products we can buy.
Absolutely. Now, I would say get my new song, but it's on Spotify and all these other ones that are not Black owned. So after today, later, y'all make sure y'all get that to support your girl, Brett. And I also would like to say Kaleidoscope hair products, Miracle Drops.
Yes.
We have a milkshake. We have men's. We have kids. Go to Kaleidoscope hair products on social media and get everything you need. Order today. Is sales. It's all kind of stuff, and it's going crazy. Support Black-owned women.
Yes.
Man.
And let me just give a testimonial to Kaleidoscope, because if your edges are thin, they will find their way back if you use Kaleidoscope properly.
Amen. You better preach.
I have seen it with my own eyes here in Georgia.
Miracle
I have to shout out my own business. I have a CBD company called Siva D.
Okay.
You can find me online at Think Siva D or on Instagram at
I ain't get my package yet.
CEVA. I got you. I'm over here using it.
Oh.
Now, people have the wrong misconception about when it comes to CBD. I have a skin cream that helps with anti-inflammation. I have droplets and tinctures called Bliss and Harmony, and they help you with anxiety, PMS. I had a guy come up to me the other day and said, thank you. I think his wife is just nicer now that she's been taking it daily. So
probably. She more laid back.
You already
Yes.
Siva D. Okay. Who else got? I know y'all got products out here.
Oh, yeah,
Special
man.
K?
Yeah, I'm selling life advice. Just Hit me up on my Twitter, Special K913, and then I'll give you my Cash App, and I'll help you figure out how to make better choices in your life.
Yes, it is all good, man. I got to shout out to Stomp Wars Global. That's actually the business and the marketing machine that produces the event Stomp Wars, which has been recognized as the largest youth and young adult stepping and performing arts movement in the entire country. Very proud, and we're thankful for that. Because of COVID-19, it shut down all of our live events, so we're about to get ready to launch a huge HBCU Stomp Wars experience and a homecoming for a lot of our HBCUs because they're not going to be able to have their homecomings this year. So you can go to stompwars.com to get more information about that. That's coming in the fall. Look out for that, man. Very excited. Yes.
Oh, and Collider Kids. We got products for the kids too, honey. Sorry, Collider Kids.
If you ball-headed, then go hang out with Brad and Kaleidoscope because she will get your follicles reactivated.
Right.
And we can't check it out at the Real BB Judy as well.
For sure. And we can't forget about money expert Janai Thornton. This is your time to shine. Let them know how they can connect with you, Janai.
Well, yes, anybody who would like to reach out to me, please reach out to me at Janai Thornton, JINITHORNTON. Would love to get your money questions and help guide you.
Yay, I'm calling you in a few minutes. Hang on.
Girl, you better call me.
I am.
You know, I got you on a hotline on speed dial.
Speed dial.
There it is, man. Do your part and show the power of the black dollar today on Blackout Day 2020. Thank you for the information, Janai. It's going down real big, man. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 17 minutes before the top of the hour. It's always a pleasure to have this brother on the show, Mr. Jeff Johnson, with 3 things you need to know. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Man, everything's good. We blessed, man. We blessed. We holding it down for our homie Rickey Smiley. Y'all continue to pray for him. He's with his daughter Erin, who was shot the other day. She is doing well, recovering from a successful surgery. So just keep the prayers up.
No, we're super thankful for that, and I think that's where I want to be this morning, because there's just some conversations that we need to have, and I know that many of us over the last several months in particular have been so focused on this elevated rebellion around white supremacy that I don't know if we've been totally honest about all of the ways that white supremacy impacts our own communities. And so in fighting police brutality and excessive force and white supremacist systems, we got to be honest about all the ways that those things manifest themselves in our community, because we don't often even really deal with what over 380 years of legal slavery in America and only 150 years since it was legally ended does to who we are, our psyche, how we treat one another, how we engage, and how those systemic issues within our communities impact us. And so, man, I think about Erin and I think about Rick being with her in Houston now, but then I also think about 87 people shot in Chicago this weekend.
Yeah. 17
fatally. 87 people, 17 died in Chicago over the 4th of July weekend. And that's on the tail end of a funeral that was just held for a 1-year-old baby in Chicago, Sincere Gaston. And now they're getting ready for the funeral of a 7-year-old. A 10-year-old was killed in D.C. this weekend. Jesus, the young man's name was Devon McNeil. And man, his grandfather is somebody that was working to deal with anti-violence in D.C. And so I want to be clear about something. Number one, black people are not more violent against black people statistically than any other group of people are towards each other. And so this is not some inherent evil that black people have. What it is, however, and why I'm frustrated even about some of the narrative that we're hearing, is I listened to the police chief, the head of the police in Chicago, talking about David Brown, who's the superintendent of police, said we should revamp electronic monitoring programs. Electronic monitoring programs is clearly not working. We will not stop until this violence ends. And listen, I get that you have to deal with the crime when it's happening, but if we aren't dealing with the fact that it is systemic poverty that is creating this mass violence. Because how many times y'all seen this level of violence in the suburbs? How often are people getting shot like this in rural communities? And there is a urban violence reality that is about a lack of resources, a lack of opportunity, a lack of education, over addiction, and systems that really aren't about building communities, but they're about destabilizing them. And so if we're not serious about poverty as the goal, even as we're policing, then we miss the point. And so for those of you that are like, well, Jeff, we don't need to be talking about this right now because we need to deal with the issues of white supremacy that around the police, you need to shut the hell up, because we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And so I want to big up the hundreds of brothers and sisters that have consistently been on the ground with no media hype, with little resources, with understaffed, that are fighting issues of violence, of de-ganging, of ensuring that when system impacted people come home, that they don't get caught back up in the same thing. And these brothers and sisters are doing this on a daily basis for decades with no fanfare. And then you got other people that talk about, when we start talking about Black Lives Matter, they were like, well, don't Black Lives Matter when y'all doing it to each other? You need to shut the hell up too. Because the issue is that we've been fighting the impacts of systemic racism and white supremacy that play themselves out in the realities of our community since the day we got here. And so we need to understand that this fight against white supremacy is on multiple levels. That while much of this is not our fault, it is our responsibility to fix it. And that for my brothers in particular that are existing in these crews and in this street and in these gangs, I know y'all are soldiers in your own right, but we can't fight white supremacy by being white supremacy. And the only thing that happens when you're fighting each other for blocks where we don't own anything, and when we have crews warring against each other where civilians are being shot, sometimes at higher cases than actual soldiers are, all we're doing is walking out the plan of white supremacy with a black face on it. And so if we're going to be serious about this movement to crush white supremacy, it can't just be tearing down statues. It can't just be removing people from office. It can't just be defunding the police. It's got to be removing a spirit of white supremacy from our very beings, so that when we look at each other and we talk to each other and even when we argue with each other, we are attacking white supremacy by dealing with the fact that we got a shared destiny and a shared creation. And if we don't get to that point by ending issues of poverty caused by white supremacy, this violence is not going to end, y'all. Those are three things I got. Absolutely love y'all. Hit me at Jeff's Nation on all social media. Want to hear what you think. And if y'all know people that are doing work right now to address these issues of violence in our community and to end poverty, let us know so that we can share those with folks wherever they are. Y'all take care.
Jeff, appreciate you, my man. Thank you, my brother.
Absolutely.
Follow Jeff Johnson at Jeff's Nation. There it is, the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 9 minutes after the top of the hour, it's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Our favorite homegirl, straight out the poking beans, Kiki, is on the show.
Hey!
What up, Kiki?
What's up, Kiki?
Straight up.
Hey, Kiki.
What's up, Eva? What's up, Rocky? What's up,
Kiki?
Brett? What's up, everybody? What's up? Straight up at the poking beans.
How the weather out there in the poking beans?
How the weather?
Yeah.
It's boiling like hot dogs.
How was your 4th of July, Kiki?
Girl, it was good, but my pinky finger is hurt because I forgot to throw the firecrackers.
Wait a minute, Kiki.
Yeah, you got to light it and throw it kind of like at the same time. You can't just hold it.
I know, Nance. Thanks for telling me, Nance.
Okay, well, you should have called me then. I would have told you then.
All right, Kiki. So you got a top 3.
Your business, man. Huh?
You got a top 3 for us?
Attitude problem.
I saw that blue.
Attitude.
Yeah, whatever. My top 3 gonna be the top 3 underhanded comments your homegirls be making.
The top 3 underhanded comments your homegirls be making.
It sounds better when you say it.
You need to get your attitude together, Kiki.
Y'all leave Kiki alone. Kiki, what's your top 3? Tell us what you want to say. They don't have to say it. You can say it.
I sure appreciate you, girl.
Oh, you want to be nice to her.
Thank you. Whatever.
Number 3, this the underhanded comment here. When they use the word love in front of everything, be like, girl, I see you with your little car. I see you got your little stimulus check. I see you had your little baby shower. Ain't nothing love about this child.
Exactly. You got your little Bentley over there.
So true, right? You got your little show coming up.
Okay. Number two, they say stuff like this. Girl, if he make you happy, girl, go ahead, just do you. If he make you happy, girl, you just mad because you ain't got no bae. You just mad because you ain't got a dude spoiling you. You just mad because you ain't got a dude that's banging your head through the headboard.
Whoa, hold up. Yeah, that's a little much.
Yeah. Yes.
Hard.
I'm sorry. Forgive me for spreading my gospel. Okay, number 1.
I don't think gospel got
Here go number 1, y'all. Here go number 1. Come on, Kiki.
Okay, number 1 underhanded comment chicks be making, girl, when you think you just killing them with your little outfit, your makeup be, they be like, if that's what you want to wear, if that's how you want to look, now you got me out here at the club looking like I work for the Barnum and Bailey Circus. I'm looking like a doggone clown in the VIP, and now when y'all do the flash on the pictures, my face is a whole nother color than my neck.
You in VIP?
They do that.
There it is.
When that flash go off, Kiki.
Hey, my face be looking like Black Lives Matter. My neck be looking like all lives matter.
Y'all give it up for Kiki, man. We got the front page up next. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 15 minutes after the top of the hour. Bringing it tight. Mariah Carey right here. Killing this joint.
Man, let me tell you, this song means so much to me. Like, man, the day of my grandmother's funeral, I was with somebody and Mariah was there. She played this song for the first time. I was riding in the limo to the cemetery and I was crushed because all the things that was going on in the relationship. This song came on in the limo. She played it for the first time. I looked up at the person and I was able to release myself and it was over.
Wow.
Like, this song, Shake It Off, is monumental for me in my life with my best friend Mariah Carey as well as a part of it.
Man.
Wow.
Her story.
That's dope, Brat. Yes, indeed.
Sorry,
man.
I was jamming hard to that thing, Rocky.
You were jamming super hard. I said, get up, girl.
When you go back and listen to that song, as many times as we didn't heard it, man, she be flipping and going almost rapping as she's singing. Yeah. I'm like, yo.
Well, she is Brat's best friend, so best friends start being like each other after a while.
Yes, indeed, man.
Mariah, sing a little bit now.
Yeah,
and like Brat can sing.
It's a melody rap, like.
Yeah,
because you can say by the time you get this message, it's gonna be too late. So don't bother paging me, cause I be on my way. Or you can say, by the time you get this message, it's gonna be too late.
Come on, Brat.
So don't bother paging me, cause I be on my way. Yeah. Like it's the same, you know what I'm saying?
Shoot.
You can sing it or rap.
That thing.
Can you imagine her with Bone Thugs and Harmony?
She got one called Breakdown.
Oh, you right.
Breakdown with Bone Thugs and Harmony. It's jamming. Okay,
it was a crucial conflict.
Shout out to my best friend Mariah Carey.
What up, Mariah? There it is. Front page up next, man. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
What's up? Get out of bed. News headlines.
Entertainment. Sports. It's the front page on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
25 minutes after the top of the hour, Eva for Sheba got the front page headlines. Let's get it.
What it do, Rock T? It's Eva Marcel here giving you your front page news. So we're getting close to 3 million coronavirus cases right here in the U.S. So far, at least 24 states have paused their rolled back their reopening plans. And the governor of California has ordered a second round of shutdowns. Now, the state of Florida hasn't made any changes, not sure why, but the mayor of Dade County decided, forget the mayor, Restaurants, bars, and gyms will be closed if y'all trying to hang out in Miami. Also, a lot of cities and states are still struggling with testing for the coronavirus. So sites in New Orleans have run out of tests 5 minutes after the doors opened. And in Phoenix, people waited in their car for as long as 8 hours in 100-degree temperatures just to get tested. And speaking of Phoenix, protests are expected in the city after another video, which is disgusting, of a police released showing an officer fatally shooting a man in a car who was parked over the weekend. The victim's name is James Porter Garcia. Allegedly, he pointed a gun at one of the officers, but his sister said that Garcia was completely unarmed. Meanwhile, Georgia's governor declared a state of emergency and activated as many as 1,000 National Guard members, citing weeks of dramatically increased violent crime and property destruction in Atlanta. Okay, and finally, now I'm not sure if y'all saw this video a few weeks ago. It was of a woman who allegedly coughed on a baby. Now, she no longer has her job. She was working at a school district in California. What? Brad, get ready, girl, open your ears. An elderly white woman got mad, and she got into a dispute with this other woman who's a mom at a yogurt shop over social distancing. So the elderly white woman took her mask off, leaned over to the mom's baby's stroller and coughed on the baby. When I tell you,
and that
y'all would be bailing me out. She would catch all of these hands. By the grace of God, there go I. I thank God that was another mom and not me, because my other kids would be missing me right now.
Disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
People are still out here crazy.
Wow.
But we're going to keep it together. That was a look at your quick headline news here at the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. For more front page news, log on to RickeySmiley.com. Rock T, what's popping in sports? I hear we got some money flowing through the NFL.
Oh, yeah, man. Somebody about to get paid. Kansas City Chiefs lock up Super Bowl MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He just signed an extension through 2031. 10-year deal. It's going to range anywhere from $450 million to $503 million. Non-trade clause. Yo, he's hooked up. He's hooked up, man. So big up to Patrick for getting that right there. Also, Colin Kaepernick, he signs a deal. Not with a football team yet. He signs a deal with Disney. Docu-series is in the works. It's going to feature extensive new interviews and never-before-seen archives that documents his last 5 years. Cap will be telling his story from his perspective, so I can't wait for that one. It is what it is. That's the sports report right there. We got the tickety tap.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot and that's hot. You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BRAT.
Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brett Tat, and this is the Hot Spot, where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into this thing. Beats by Dre announces an endorsement deal with Bubba Wallace after Trump's hoax tweet infuriated Dre and the team. So they announced this deal with NASCAR's Bubba Wallace, the organization's only black full-time driver, who's notably been outspoken for protesting on social justice. Just hours after Donald Trump's hoax tweets, in which he claimed that Wallace faked the hate crime and called him to apologize to his colleagues and officials for alleging, saying he found the noose in the garage at the tracks. Anyway, the electronics company, Beats by Dre, they took to Twitter and said, we are going to announce this. We weren't going to announce this until later this week, but hate cannot win the day. No one should ever be asked to apologize for standing up for what's right. We are proud to welcome Bubba Wallace to the Beats by Dr. Dre family. That is what's up.
Love it.
That is what's up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they should send a pair of beats to Donald Trump. Say, here you go, homie.
Okay, autograph.
Right.
Remember me, okay? Moving on, y'all. Terry Crews, he had an interview with Don Lemon. He will not stop talking about his dislike for Black Lives Matter. And he decided to, go to Don Lemon, where he doubled down on a few remarks he made on Twitter. He said, quote, black people who are talking about working with whites and other races are viewed as sellouts. They're called Uncle Toms. He kept on whining. He said the arrogance of the Black Lives Matter movement would lead to black supremacy. Black people need to be held accountable. This is Black America's version of #MeToo movement, he said. And then he said black neighborhoods are held hostage by people who are literally running them with violence and then claiming that Black Lives Matter. So, I ain't no telling what he gonna say next. You know, Black Twitter and you know, they dragged him mercilessly. Okay, so y'all can see what they said, but oh Lord, they dragged him. All right, y'all, let me move on. Drake is letting everybody know that he is halfway, 80% done with his studio album. He posted a story on Instagram and shared a photo of himself with 80% all over the image. And he previously told fans about the project. He said, my 6th studio album dropping summer 2020. So lucky number 6 soon forward. So that means soon come. So let's look out for that Drake. It should be real good. And we got to say congratulations to Remy Ma and Papoose to have another baby on the way. Yes, they do. They announced they're expecting their 2nd child together. She said, I love being with my family. I get to spend so much time with my amazing wife, my amazing husband, and my amazing daughter. I'm just making the best out of it, and we're moving forward.
Oh, you know I want to say, oh, so bad. That is so beautiful.
A new child. Yep. They have a daughter, Reminisce Mackey. They had her in 2018. So
yes. Does she know what she's having?
Nope, they're not telling. You know, they're probably gonna do a gender reveal and all that. You know, you don't tell it in the beginning what's coming. You know, they do TV, so you know they probably gonna do a gender reveal TV show and all that stuff. You know, get it while the getting is good. It ain't tricking if you got it. All right, y'all, moving on. Halle Berry is facing backlash because she decided to pull out of a role in an upcoming film which she'd play a transgender character. So doing the Instagram Live last week, she talked about preparing for the role and saying the character where a woman is a transgender, so she's a woman that transitioned into a man, and she's a character in a project that I love that I might be doing. But yesterday, she issued an apology and revealed that she has pulled out of the role, saying that the transgender community should undeniably have the opportunity to tell their own stories. I'm not mad at her. She said, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to discuss my consideration of an upcoming role as a transgender man, and I'd like to apologize for those remarks. As a cisgender woman, what's that? Cisgender?
Man, I can't keep up with all these different
As a CIS gender woman, I now understand that I should not have considered this role, and that the transgender community should undeniably have the opportunity to tell their own lives. So this was pretty dope of her. You know what I'm saying?
It is. You know what, Brad? It sounds like. Did you hear that story about the guy who plays Cleveland on the hit cartoon show?
Yeah.
He stepped down from the role and said that black people should voice black characters. And so it's kind of that same idea where there are a lot of amazing transgender actors out there that should be able to tell their own story.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, I'm going to wrap up the hot spot right there with that good old juicy, delicious story. Coming up next, speaking of delicious, we got Chef Boudreaux with the quarantine cuisine, and we got the praise mixed down with the White Stone. The time now is 26 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
The Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
You already know it's time for that quarantine cuisine, y'all, with Kirk Boudreaux. What up, Chef Boudreaux?
Hey, Boudreaux.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, Boudreaux, what you got cooking in that kitchen this morning?
Oh, man, today I got roasted chicken noodle soup, man. It ain't complicated. It's real easy piece, man. I just using some chicken broth.
Roasted chicken noodle.
Yeah, I roasted off some chicken, man. Chicken breast in the oven.
What you put on the chicken breast?
Oh, man, just it's simple. Salt, pepper, little garlic powder. You know what I'm saying? Just nothing fancy. And roasted it off and cooked it at about 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. Let cool, diced into some chunks, set aside, added all my chicken, you know, the broth, the chicken, you know, just all that stuff is put together, man. The carrots and celery. I just let that cook down, man, and threw the noodles in on the back end, you know.
What kind of noodles did you use?
I just used some simple egg noodles, man.
Oh, yeah.
I use the little swirly kind too. They look cute.
Now, Kurt, Kurt, what's the secret of the broth? Because that broth makes the soup.
Right.
It does.
Well, the broth, you can use the chicken bones, just the chicken bones and water and let it cook down with a mirepoix. Mm-hmm.
Yep, you boil it down.
Now, you can do it that way, or you can just go to the store and get some chicken broth or some chicken stock. Just real easy peasy.
Or that better than bouillon.
Yeah.
Or better than bouillon. Yeah, you can use that too.
Okay, last question. Kurt, how long do you have to cook this soup? How long does it take to prepare?
From just start to finish, maybe about 45 minutes, maybe at the most, because you do have to roast off the chicken. But if you're just doing it, if everything is already, cut up and all it'll take about maybe 30 minutes if you can get it all together.
Nice.
Because it's just, you're just cooking it till the vegetables get soft. You know what I'm saying? And you throw the noodles in, let that cook for an extra 10. And you Gucci.
That's a good old meal. Last you a good week. You don't got to cook nothing else if you make enough. You know what I'm saying? All right, Chef Boudreaux, why don't you tell them how you can be reached, where they can find you at, and this recipe.
Oh, man, you can find this recipe on Rickey Smiley Official. You follow your boy on Facebook at Boudreaux's Catering. And on Instagram, Chef_Boudreaux1.
Yeah, give it up for Chef Kurt Boudreaux. Boudreaux, you know.
Chef.
Thanks, Chef.
It is, man. All right, y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you.
It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.